Hey guys, Jan here, your immigration expert, your first friend in Prague as the whole Move to Prague company. And today's topic will be one of the positive ones. I always try to bring some topics because some of the live streams are prepared in advance and I have everything like lined up and the questions and everything. Sometimes I just decide to do the live stream on that same day, like the topic of the live stream, because I always try to do uh, something which is valuable to you. So sometimes I see that you're asking some questions about something or that you're sending me messages about something. So I decide to do a live stream about this. And this is actually the case. Today's topic will be about what to do when your visa or residence permit was approved. So what are the steps? So I will go through it. I will talk about different situations because it's different when you need to pick up a visa from an embassy. It's different if you need to go to the MOI. It's different if you're a kid or if you're an adult. I will touch the topic if someone can pick it up on your behalf or if you need to go in person and all these. So I'll cover all that. First of all, let me greet Agnello because Agnello comes to all my live streams. So thank you very much for the support, Agnello. Happy to see you. On YouTube, Salas, good evening, Jan. Good evening, Salas. Thank you very much for joining. And guys, Leongson Zarina, Enrico. Oh, okay. Hi, Rico. Thank you very much for sharing this. Good evening. Guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask, ideally to the topic. If it's to the topic, I will answer during the live stream, like right away. If it's not, then I will answer at the end of the live stream. But I will answer all the questions, and I will probably show you the doc this time because I always talk about him. He's always somewhere here and he never comes to me, and he's now here. So let's see. No, it's not possible to. He's the heaviest doc on the planet. Anyway, Nes Jasper, hi from YouTube channel Pamilia Torres. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining. And let's go into the topic. So let's start with the embassy. So let's say you applied for whatever type of visa or residence permit through a Czech embassy, and now you've heard about approval. So how to pick it up? So first of all, it's important if you applied for a visa or for a residence permit. If you applied for a long-term visa, then the embassy issues the visa into your passport, and that's an easy process. I'll go through it in a second. If you applied for a residence permit, then the residence permit, for example, an employee card or a blue card or a student residence permit, then the process must be finished in the Czech Republic, which means that the embassy will only issue a provisionary visa, like a temporary visa, and then you will finish everything in the Czech Republic. So let's say you applied for a long-term visa, a student visa or a business visa, family reunification visa. In case you heard from the embassy that your application was approved, basically the only thing you need to do is to go to the embassy and collect the visa. Sorry guys, I'm sitting on the couch and my dog just bites me in my ass. It just bites me in my ass. I don't know if you can see him. He's like this cute little Pomeranian. And he's biting me in my ass. So sorry for that. If he wasn't so cute. Yeah, he is. Anyway, back to the embassy. So if you got your visa approved, then you basically just go to the embassy. They issue a sticker. They just put a sticker in your passport, and that will be for the full validity of the visa. So let's say you got a visa for 1 year, so you will get a sticker and the visa will be valid for 1 year. You don't really need to do anything else. You should go to the foreign police in the Czech Republic once you arrive to the Czech Republic within 3 days. But besides that, everything is complete. Everything is done at the embassy. The only thing usually you need to bring with you is your health insurance, because for most of the visas and most nationalities, you need to have a health insurance covering the full validity of your visa. So let's say if you get your student visa approved for 1 year or family reunification visa approved for 1 year, then you should go to the embassy to collect your visa already holding a long-term health insurance covering the same period as the visa. Usually the embassy lets you know everything in advance. So they send you an email saying, hey, your visa was approved for this period of time, or like 12 months from the date of collection, or until this date, whatever. They just let you know about the approval time. And they will usually send you also instructions about what to do. So they usually tell you, hey, and bring your health insurance with you, covering the full validity of the visa. Otherwise, we will not give the visa to you. So this is the easy way. Then if you got a residence permit approved, for example, you applied for an employee card, then it depends on your nationality, basically. If you are a nationality, or if you're a national of a country whose citizens can come to the Czech Republic without having a visa, that's, for example, American, Australians, Canadians, Mexicans, like all those who can come here for 90 days, then technically you don't really need to get any visa to enter the Czech Republic and finish the process of getting the employee card or the blue card or whatever in the Czech Republic. If you're from some other country whose citizens do not have this exception that you could come here without a visa, so if you're any basically country in the world, like Indian, Chinese, Vietnamese, all African countries, basically, most of Asian countries. So if you're one of these nationalities, then you need a short-term visa to enter the Czech Republic. Even if you want to come for 1 day or 2 days, you need a short-term visa. So you would need to go, once you heard from the embassy that your residence permit was approved, so employee card, blue card, or student residence permit, you will go back to the embassy where you applied for the visa. So let's say you applied in New Delhi, so you will go back to New Delhi, and they will issue a special 60 days visa, which is only one entry visa, and it allows you to enter the Czech Republic, and it gives you 60 days from the entrance or entry date to finish the employee card process. Because finishing the employee card process is a process. You need to go to the Ministry of the Interior. You need to give your fingerprints. They will take a photo of you. You will digitalize your signature. And then to finish the employee card process or blue card process. And now I see that I froze on YouTube. Okay, hopefully I'm back on YouTube. Perfect. So usually 60 days is okay. But now, for example, for the biometrics, the appointment dates are booked for like months in advance. They book appointments, and now I'm frozen on Facebook, but I'm back. Okay. So now, for example, the ministry in some branches, they book appointments for biometrics like for May already. So sometimes even the 60 days might not be enough, in which case it's best to call the ministry, say, hey, I just arrived. I really need to get this appointment, or you can go to the ministry and do your registration there instead of the foreign police, and they would offer you an appointment date there. Okay, so that was about embassies and and picking up your visa or residence permit. But one important thing there is that some embassies offer the option that you can just mail your passport, or you can send someone with a power of attorney, and they will issue the visa for you into your passport even without your presence there. So if you, for example, applied, if you have the 90 days, which is usually the case in case of our American clients or Canadian clients, Mexicans, everyone who can come for the 90 days here. So they usually come using their 90 days. They apply at some Czech embassy, and then they wait here. And then once they hear from the embassy that their visa was approved, they should officially fly back to the embassy and collect the visa in person. But some embassies offer the option that you can just mail your passport. So they just can mail the passport along with the health insurance to the embassy, and the embassy will issue the visa and will mail it back. The only kind of problem with this approach is that you should officially have the passport on you the whole time. So if you mail your passport, you're basically committing, I don't know how to say that, like by an illegal act. And if the foreign police stop you at the time and you don't have a passport, that could be a big problem for you. doesn't really happen. Officially, I have to say that I've never had anyone who did it this way I would knew about, but there is this option, so you can potentially use it, but you need to know that you should always have the passport on you. So it's better to go there instead of mailing it or sending someone on your behalf. Okay, so let's see some questions here. Jose Carlos Moreno, or let's see first, Agnello Andrews, he's cute. Yeah, thank you very much. The dog is really cute, and he's really crazy as well. So usually I do the live stream somewhere else, so he cannot like jump that high, so I don't show him. But now I'm sitting on the sofa and he just jumped here and was biting my ass, so I could show you finally. Okay, the Trinity, thank you very much. And then Jose Carlos, hi, thanks for your streams. They help a lot of us. Some weeks ago, I filed a form in your website, but I was never contacted by anyone. I tried telling you in private, but got no answer either. Hopefully, you can help me out with an appointment for consultation. Cheers. Jose, first of all, it's I'm sorry for that if that's the case, if no one contacted you. But what often happens is that we do contact you, but the email goes to your spam folder. That unfortunately happens because we send plenty of emails. We've had many clients. So please check your spam file or spam folder. Maybe you will find the email there. If not, then please get in touch again, and maybe let me know somewhere or get directly in touch with me, and I'll make sure that we reply. But if we don't reply, it's usually because the email went to a spam folder. So please, guys, if you contact us sometimes and you never receive a reply, then check your spam folder first, because that's usually what happens, that we go to spam and then people just miss it. But sorry for that too, or sorry to hear that anyways. As for me, yeah, unfortunately, the last couple days I haven't been to Facebook at all, basically. I only went there for live streams, but I didn't really check messages or anything. So if you contacted me like recently, unfortunately, I wasn't available. So that's when I have a time, I reply messages on Facebook, but often there are so many that I just send like automated kind of message asking you to fill in a form, because it's usually the best, because it's not only me in the company, but I have colleagues, so someone will get back to you for sure, unless something like this happens and your message ends up in spam. So I'll finish a couple of the questions, because I can see also some on YouTube and some here. So I'll finish those, and then we'll go to collecting your approved residence permit from the Ministry of the Interior, either as an EU citizen or non-EU citizen, as a child or as an adult, and using a power of attorney or not. So Trinity, if I have done an interview and they ask me to take birth certificate, will I have to do interview again? I'm not sure exactly what you mean. If I have done interview and they ask me to take birth certificate, will I have to do interview again? I don't know what exactly you mean. Like, you went to the embassy, you submitted your application, you did interview, and you forgot your birth certificate there, or they request the birth certificate from you? Please, if you specify, I'll be happy to answer. And Salas on YouTube. Jan, how about trvalý pobyt, the time of process, and how do you know it's approved or not? So very brief answer to that, because this topic is about something else. But official processing time is 60 days. But as you know, the ministry doesn't really care about any processing day, official processing times. So 60 days, it sometimes happens. Usually it's like right on the border, like 59 day or something. But sometimes it takes like 4 months, 6 months. It can take even longer. So unfortunately, it's difficult to say when your trvalý pobyt, permanent residence, will be approved. How to see if it was approved or not? It's the same system as for any type of visa or residence permit application. There is this, and I got frozen on, yeah, I'm back. So there is this website, frs.gov, where you can go and you just put your application number into the system, and it shows you if it's denied, approved, or in process. So that's the easiest way to find out. And I covered all these, like the permanent residency and how to check the status of your application in my previous videos. So please, if you need some like detailed information, go check one of them. Now, Rico Manansala Yabut. Sample question. Applied for visa for our daughter. How many numbers of days waiting period? Reunification applied. By the where we are Filipino, can we track the application if approved or declined? Thanks in advance. Yeah, okay. So Rico, I've just answered your question about tracking the application when I was replying to Salas. There is this website frs.gov.cz, I believe, and you can check the status of your application there. As for the official approval time for the family reunification visa, it's 60 to 90 days. Family reunification residence permit would be 270 days. But if it was a visa, so it's 60 to 90 days. Okay, let's see what else do we have here. Trinity, they requested my birth certificate. Usually if they request some documents, then you don't do any other interview. You just submit the documents they requested, and if you submitted them correctly, so like with super legalization or apostille and translate it into Czech, then it's okay, and they usually don't ask any questions. Emmanuel Quintin Coffee, how long does it take to hear from embassy when decision is approved in FRS? Well, it very much depends, because how it works is that the decision is made by the Ministry of the Interior in the Czech Republic. Then some concrete person needs to like complete the file and let the embassy know, and then the embassy needs to let you know. So there is usually a delay. Sometimes it's in days, a matter of days. Sometimes it's done like in 2 days, 3 days. But sometimes you can wait even for maybe 2 weeks to hear from them. So it's difficult to say, but you can always contact the embassy. If you know that it was approved already, then you can contact the embassy and then they can check. But if it's in process, the embassy will not give you any information because they don't make the decision, so they don't have access to any systems where they could find out. Rico, thank you. My pleasure. Trinity, okay, thank you, Mr. Jan. My pleasure, Trinity. So, and now let's go to the second part of the live stream, and that's how it works if your application was approved in the Czech Republic by the MOI. So again, it depends on what kind of application it was. Let's maybe, and of course, like if you want to pick it up in your on your own, or if you have someone to pick it up on your behalf. Sorry. So the main question is if you always need to go pick up the approved residence permit on your own in person, or if someone can do it based on the power of attorney. In most cases, you have to go collect your residence permits in person, because the ministry needs to see you, you need to sign that you received it, and it must be done in person for most cases. In some cases, for example, child, if the child is a minor and they are not doing the fingerprint yet, then you can collect the approved residence card on their behalf. But in most other cases, you have to collect it in person. We cannot, because we do this for living in Move to Prague, and clients sometimes ask us, hey, I cannot go, can you go pick it up on my behalf? And we would love to do that, but it's not officially legally possible. The ministry needs to see you, you need to sign some documents. Sometimes, especially if you're getting the residence card, the biometric card, you need to give your fingerprints again they need to check that it's you and that the machine is reading and everything. So unfortunately, in most cases, we cannot pick up the residence permit on your behalf. Only in case of kids, the parents can do that, but in general, not really. Okay, and so now, what happens if you go pick up, or if you've heard that your residence application was approved? If you're an EU citizen, then you're basically just getting the folded piece of paper, the registration certificate, they call it now. It used to be temporary residence certificate. Now it's just registration certificate, but it's the same piece of paper. And I got, okay, I'm back. So it's the same piece of paper as it used to be. And for that, you just go there basically. You need to check all the details. They will give you this piece of paper. They print all the information on that paper in front of you. So they are doing it on the spot. It's not like prepared in advance, or it's not a card or anything that would need to be made. They have this piece of paper and they just put it into the printer and print all your information there. So first thing you need to do is check that all the information there is correct, that your name, date of birth, city of birth, nationality, passport number, all these, that they are correct. If they are, then you will sign it. And that's basically it. You will also sign into a book saying that you confirm that you received this residence certificate or the registration certificate now. And that's basically it. I had a client today who asked me like, and we got only this. Is it? Like, will we be getting any like card or anything official? No, as an EU citizen, you just get this like folded piece of paper, which only looks half official, but that's it. That's the most you can get unless you've been here long enough to get the permanent residency or then citizenship. But besides that, it's only this piece of paper. So that's pretty simple thing to do. If you're a non-EU citizen, then you will be getting whatever type of residence permit you get approved, besides the family member of an EU citizen. No, it's actually now the same. Okay, so that's basically same for all non-EU citizens who got some type of residence permit approved. So the first step you did already was that you did your fingerprints. They took a digital photo of you and you digitalized your signature. And then they gave you an appointment to come back and collect the actual card like 2-3 weeks later usually. So how it works is that you go, you take the number, you wait, you go to the counter, and they just check your fingerprints. You will do the fingerprints again just for them to check that the machine is reading and that your fingerprints are well in the system. And then again, you will just check if everything is fine on the card. You will sign into the book saying that you received the card, and that's basically it. So like the difference between EU and non-EU is just that as a non-EU, you're getting the card, so they need to check your fingerprints. And if there was some mistake in the documents or in the card, they cannot reprint it on the spot, and you would need to go again for biometrics and then again collect the card like 3 weeks later. So that would be a bit more complicated. If you're an EU citizen and you have the folded piece of paper and you see some mistake there, they can reprint it on the spot. They just like replace it with a new one, and that's it. So that's easier, but yeah. Okay. I had 11 people watching at the same time. Now it's only 2, so I guess I'm getting more boring. So let's see. Thank you, Anne. Nest Jasper Torres. Thank you, Anne. I hope I can invite you for some podcast to my YouTube channel, Familia Torres, for the family visa topic. But by the way, where can I see the transaction number for our family visa of our daughters? Nes, it sounds a bit like a promotion for your own channel, but you do it in a good way, so it's fine. And of course, get in touch and I'll be happy to make some cooperation with you. As for the tracking number, if you applied for whatever directly at the Ministry of the Interior, you should always get a confirmation that you submitted the application. And then on the confirmation, there is in the left corner, or like you see it here, probably left corner, but in the left corner, you see the application number. And that's what you use in the FRS system, and you can check it there. If you apply through a Czech Embassy, you usually get a different number. I did a live stream about this, so go down to my previous videos, especially on YouTube. You're watching me on Facebook, but if you go to my YouTube channel, I have all the recordings of the live streams there. And I did a video specifically about this, how to check the status of your application, and also about the application number. And at the embassy, they usually give you like a long number. Usually the first letters are describing the embassy. So it would be, for example, I don't know, Tela, which goes for Tel Aviv, or Bras, which goes for Brussels, or, just like what embassy you applied for. Then you have the date, so that would be 2022 11/9 or whatever. And then you have the actual number of your application, like how many people submitted the application that day. So it would be 0001, for example, if it was the first application, or 0004 if it was the fourth application, and like this. So you would get this number, and you can check this number on the website as well. It usually takes some time. If you apply at some Czech embassy, it usually takes some time before the number starts showing in the system. It can take up to 1 month, because the embassy the embassy does not make any decisions. They just collect your documents, send them physically, like in real, to the Czech Republic, and then the decision is made at the Ministry of the Interior. So sometimes the time between when you apply at the embassy and when the documents reach the Ministry of the Interior can be a couple of weeks. We've had a couple of cases when people applied like a month ago, and the application was still not in the system because it was not like even processed, or the Ministry of the Interior didn't even start processing it. So that happens. So then just don't get scared that your application is still not there. If you applied 2 days ago or something, that's very short time. Nothing happens in 2 days here. So yeah, but then this application number which you were given by the embassy, you can check it at the website as well. If you wanted to get the MOI number, you can get it as well, but you would need to contact the ministry directly, and then they would tell you the application number. Okay. Miram Joy, nice to see you. Nes Jasper, thank you, and for your clear explanation. My pleasure, guys. So I guess this was it for today. Of course, guys, those of you who don't follow me on, or who are not my patrons on Patreon, please join, because I do a special content. I do special content. That's true. And I also do special things for my patrons on Patreon. And for example, now this upcoming weekend, I believe it will be Sunday, this 27th, I will be doing a live stream Q&A session only for my Patreon. So we basically, and I will be actually trying to do a different thing this time. So I will do a kind of Google Meets, live stream basically. So we will be able to interact, not like this, that you just write your questions and you need to like hear me talking, but we'll be able to all interact at the same time. So that will be way more interactive and way better consultation. And you can also, if you join my Patreon, you can also join my private WhatsApp group. So you will be in a special WhatsApp group only for patrons, and you can message me there day and night and ask your questions there directly. So if you guys know Patreon, find me there, join my team there, and I'll be happy to serve you there. And some more questions here. Nia Candito Miniri, hi, what are the rules for changing the permanent resident? I'm not sure what you mean exactly, but if you mean like the address where you live, so it works the way that you need to report all the changes you make and which ministry can see in the system. You need to report it to the Ministry of the Interior within some given deadlines. So this especially applies to your passport. If you, for example, get a new passport, you need to report it to the ministry. If you change your marital status, you get married or you get divorced. If you change your name, which usually goes with the marriage, or if you, I don't know what is there. What else is there? Yeah, and if you change your address, yeah, obviously. So if you change your address, you also need to report it to the ministry. The address must be reported within 30 days from when the change happened. So if you moved to a new apartment 1st of April, then until the end of April, you need to report the change. You can now report the change even just like via mail-in, for example, your new lease agreement to the ministry. But it must be either original or a notarized copy, not just like a simple copy you make at home, but like an official copy by a notary. And you just mail it to the Ministry of the Interior and they change it in the system. That's sufficient now. You don't need to do anything else. But if you do it like this, first, you don't have assurance that it was really done because you cannot really check it anywhere. And second, you will not have the new address in your passport or in your card anywhere. So if you need to prove the address to someone, it will not be possible because you will not have it anywhere. So it's recommended even for such changes like the change of address to go to the ministry in person, and then they will put a big red stamp with the new address to your passport, and then you're good. Trinity, I have to start working on 7th. Will it be possible to get visa in 1 week? Like, I mean, I know that you got some job offer in Ireland, so there might be different rules. But if you applied for a Czech visa or residence permit, then there's no chance that you would have it approved in 1 week. Obviously, you mentioned that you applied and then they requested the birth certificate. So maybe, yeah, if you gave them the birth certificate, then they can process it. And it might be in a week, but generally not really. Nothing really happens in a week in the Czech Republic, especially in visa processes. So if you applied for a visa, like again, we had just like I was texting with someone on our Google profile on Google Maps. Google My Business is the official name, and they were asking me like, "Hey, it's been 60 days since we applied. Like, what's going on? What's going on? I need to go ask the ministry and everything." Guys, if the ministry has 60 to 90 days, there is a very little chance, very small chance that they will approve it within the 60 days. There is a small chance that they will approve it within the 90 days, but there is a bigger chance that it will take them 4 months or 5 months to get it approved. So unfortunately, like nothing really happens fast. Yeah, the shortest, we've had some records, and I believe the shortest we've ever had like visa or residence permit approved was like 2 weeks, maybe 10 days, something like that. So like very fast. If I don't count EU citizens, because those are fast usually. But non-EU citizens applying through an embassy, we had like an employee card approved in 2 weeks, but those are very rare, and those need to be like special circumstances. But usually the officially given deadlines like 60 to 90 days, 90 to 120, they kind of stick to it, that it will definitely not take shorter, but they don't really stick to it in a sense that it could not take longer. It can often take very much longer. So I hope I'm not crashing your dreams here, but unfortunately, this is how it works. Hey, Daria, thank you very much for joining. And now question from YouTube. Jan, for partnership case, when you apply for trvalý pobyt, what's the requirement in very short way, please? Moc děkuji. Trvalý pobyt for partners, for family members of EU citizens. Basically, the process is very similar to getting the temporary residency, the partnership visa the first time. So you will need to, again, prove your relationship, submit all the photos and all the proofs of your relationship. So travel tickets, joint bank account, joint lease agreement, all this. From this perspective, it's very similar. The difference is just now if you're a close family member, that will be pretty easy. If you're a distant family member, meaning that you're just dating, that you're just partners, then you will need to now also submit the proof of finance, the proof of your monthly income. So that's different. And it's also kind of likely that the ministry will invite you for an interview. For the temporary residency, they don't really do it, or they do like in 40% of cases, let's say, but it depends. But for permanent residency, they do it very often. So very similar process to the temporary residency, just maybe some more documents needed and possibly an interview. Trinity, it's okay, Mr. Jan, děkuji. You're welcome. Unfortunately, we cannot do much about that. It's just how it is at the ministry. Okay, guys, again, it's been 35 minutes. I usually try to, I always say that it will be short, or that I will try to keep it short, but we always end up having 35 minutes of conversation. So one last question, if someone has, then the stage is yours. Please ask, and I'll be happy to answer. If no one has any questions, then I'll be leaving soon. Hi, Shalumba. Nice to see you. It's time for your question. Svagatika Nayak wants to join your live stream. So let's see how this works. I don't think I've ever that it ever worked out. So let's see if Svagatika will join, because this is a special feature on Facebook. Okay. All right, it works. Hello. Okay. So she disappeared. Okay, I guess she didn't have any questions. All right, guys. So if you have one last question, please please ask. I'll be happy to answer. If not, I'll be just going to cuddle my cute little doggo here. Cute little doggo. Yeah. I don't know if you can see him. I'll show you again. What? No. He's a cutie. He's a cutie. Yeah. So that was it. So guys, thank you very much. I'll be here online again on Thursday, because I do all these. I do these live streams every Monday and Thursday, different topics every time. Always time for your questions. And one important thing now, if you join my Patreon, I will share the links everywhere. Then we'll have a special Q&A session this coming Sunday, only for patrons or patrons on Patreon. And it will be a bit different. It will be more interactive, because I'll try to do meets call, so we will be able to see each other and we'll be able to discuss things in person. So that's exclusively for my patrons on Patreon. And also, if you join my Patreon, you can also become part of a private WhatsApp group with me, and you can text me night and day, and I'll be happy to answer all your questions. So I'll share the links everywhere. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me every time. Some of you here come here like every time, and I'm very grateful for that, and I'm happy that I'm of service as well. And see you next time. Bye-bye, guys.